Hi, everybody. I'm Candid Frank, and that's Gary Groob, as you know us here every Thursday at 4 o'clock. And today we have a very special guest. And I'm positive you'll probably stop most of the questions that we have. No, wait, no, I'm making a crack about being a goaltender. That wasn't very nice. Our guest is Deacon Knott. He, of course, is the goaltender for the Philadelphia Wings, a team that has a long history, one that for a moment, for a tiny bit of time, they disappeared, but then they came back because the people in Philadelphia said they love lacrosse. But the reason we're here is to talk to Deacon about lacrosse and him playing it. And we always like to start with our favorite question, and that is, Deacon, how'd you pick up the stick?
Yeah, thanks for having me today. So growing up, didn't really know all that much about lacrosse. I was more of a baseball family. And then I was a hockey goalie, and being around Peterborough, uh, playing hockey and playing baseball, you kind of grow connections. And then when I was about 8 years old, I was approached by a couple of people from Peterborough, and they asked if I want to try out goalie in lacrosse. So figured I'd give it a shot, and just instantly fell in love with the game, and that was kind of my first introduction into lacrosse.
Well, there's playing, and then what keeps you playing, getting to know the stick, and then getting to know the game. But there's something that kept you in it. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an experience getting used to lacrosse rather than hockey, but it was nice that it was at a younger age. So getting the relationships with different teammates, kind of bouncing around from team to team as well. Like obviously, I grew up in Peterborough through the minor system and then into the junior system as well. But um, just how fast it was. I mean, it is a little bit different, a little bit harder than hockey as a goalie, anyways. But yeah, just the excitement kept me going.
A goaltender. I'll add a new question since you're a goaltender. What made you strap on the pads?
So it started in hockey. Both my sisters and my brother were all hockey goalies, so there's four of us. And my parents, when I was young, said, "Yeah, we're not having a fourth goalie. So you better get used to skating on the ice." So I loved Marc Andre Fleury. I love Roberto Luongo, but Fleury was really the one that made me want to strap the goalie pads on in hockey, and still to this day, he's still my favorite ever hockey player. So yeah, just that made me want to be a hockey goalie, and then it kind of waterfalled into lacrosse as well.
I'm curious. Was it his sense of humor that you liked?
Honestly, it had to have been the yellow pads. Love
Yellow
the yellow
pads.
pads. That was my
It
very
was
first
his.
ever.
It was his sense of humor.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, you had quite a bit of success as a hockey goalie. What made you say that's enough of this? This is where I want to be as a lacrosse guy.
Yeah. I mean, I played junior in hockey, played AAA, played Double A, but I kind of got to a crossroads where I had to either pick hockey or pick lacrosse. So it was a bit of a tough decision, but I felt more connected with the game of lacrosse and felt like I was doing a little bit better and had bigger opportunities where it was either try and get drafted pro lacrosse or kind of continue my hockey career. But as soon as I got drafted to the Wings, I figured it was more of a clean break. I haven't even touched my hockey gear in a couple of years now, so
Right.
it was a clean break. I mean, I do miss it, but lacrosse is definitely the biggest part of
Right.
my life.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about baseball too, because Dad was a big baseball guy, and you guys grew up with him being that baseball guy. That has to be good for your reflexes because even in your warm ups now, a lot of it has to do with reflex of catching a lacrosse ball, and I spent a good amount of time watching you and all your little things and aneurysms as you're getting ready.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely played a huge part in it since 1 year old, I was around my dad's ball teams and around the ballpark, so it was I was introduced to it really early. But yeah, like growing up playing baseball, especially catching my dad from a young age, like he was a pitcher, so um, being able to catch him since I was 6 years old was pretty cool. And going around all these tournaments around Canada, around the states, everything like that. So it was definitely sharpened up the skills for sure. But really, you could see it in hockey, in my glove hand, and my blocker, everything like that.
Yeah.
But in lacrosse too, like. Um, I'm sure anybody who's been around the rink to watch me play or been around since junior has seen me kind of throw the ball against the glass and catch it. I mean, sometimes you just have those games where you're not seeing the ball great, or you just need a little bit of a boost to keep going. So I think throwing the ball off the glass and catching it, especially watching it right into your hand, really kind of amplifies that and gets you off to a good start before a game.
Well, that goes right back to really Tretchak and Dryden and all those guys of taking the tennis balls off the wall and getting their reflexes going and all the rest of that. So I think you're onto something really quickly there.
Yeah, exactly.
But your dad also gave you an awful lot of life lessons and through sport. And it shows now, even as you mature in the NLL, that you were really fairly down to earth right from the time I knew you in junior.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was very lucky that my dad is who he is. Like I couldn't have asked for a better dad. He's the best in the world. So like I grew up like he is my best friend since I was born. So like and still is. Like he makes a drive down to Philly every weekend, and
Yeah,
yeah, like it. I couldn't have asked for anything better. But just the things that he taught me, like just being respectful, being humble, being um, eager to play, and always wanting more. Like especially being in the NLL and like playing senior in the summer now and playing junior. Um, Everything, especially as a goalie, is such a mindset. Um, Pretty similar to being a pitcher in baseball too. Like
right.
there's only one of you out there, so it's you really gotta have a strong head and yeah, go from there.
Absolutely. Now, you get into Peterborough, you're in junior C, and you move around and move into junior A. John Grant Sr. takes a liking to you. Talk about your relationship with John and all the nuance here, because John is just fantastic and has sent so many players into the NLL.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Senior for a long time now. He coached me when I was young, and I mean, I'm sure that you've heard Senior's signature. Yeah, if you don't have your stick in your hands and I see you, give me $2. So
Yep.
that that happened since we were little, but yeah, like since I started playing, used the Woody kind of all the way growing up, and always kind of fiddling with it, or like I string all my sticks. I string majority of the guys on the wing sticks. Like
Right.
I've been stringing since I was little, so just messing around with my woodies and everything like that. And he was always around, and especially growing up, whenever I got into junior out of minor, um, Landon Kells was the starting goalie for the junior A's in Peterborough.
Right.
So young kid going in, I figured, I don't really want to sit on the bench for the first couple of years while he's still there. Like, let him kind of do his thing. I know he was going to be a starter, so I figured I'll play junior C and kind of get introduced into the junior speed.
Yep.
At maybe just a little bit lower level, and then COVID hit, and then we kind of got into the junior A tournament with like the futures division and everything like that. And we ended up winning that with our junior team, but but yeah, completely along the way of my career in junior, when we played in World Juniors with Canada, getting drafted, and especially being down here in Philly, like senior has been with me like most of the way. Plus, he played for the Wings,
Yeah.
so like he had a lot to offer with Philly, with just the atmosphere, with the fans, but also getting acquainted with a bunch of people down here as well.
Right. The aha moment. Did you have that when you were playing junior that this is where I want to do and this is it? And laser focused you go.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's kind of always been like that, like the mindset of just never give up. Doesn't matter if you're getting scored on, doesn't matter if you don't have anything scored on you. Never
Right.
give up, keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, that was kind of always my mindset. But I think the second year of me playing junior A, we made a little run into playoffs and we ended up getting beat out by the Beaches. Um, but I think it was kind of getting the call from Canada, go play in the CLL World Juniors thing,
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very cool moment where I know it's an unsanctioned tournament at the time, but like we're still representing our country,
Yep.
and it was a very cool experience to meet the guys from all over the country, but also playing in Winnipeg, not in our own province,
Mm-hmm.
but also getting drafted right after that. That was kind of the big thing, especially winning that World Juniors tournament. Like it was a very incredible experience that kind of just said like this is what I want to do.
Right. Let's talk about that championship because really, the CLL is great. They're a fantastic organization. I know a lot of them. And talk about playing in that just compared to playing junior and how you had to elevate your game.
Yeah. I mean, we were playing the best of the best from each country,
Yeah.
um, but like it was a really cool experience. Like just from we were already beat out of playoffs, so I got the call right after, and it was a really short turnaround. So like it was a few days before I had to fly out to Winnipeg, but getting there it was ran very professional. Where we were playing where the Jets play in Winnipeg, um, practicing like the amount of practice that we had, the coaching staff, the players, everything like that. Like it was it was a pretty surreal experience where yeah, you could stick your chest out a little bit and say, yeah, this is what we do.
Yeah.
But I know everybody there had a great experience to come there and play great teams, and especially like we played the U.S. first, and then we ended up finishing with the Haudenosaunee team. Um, but it was great lacrosse, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
Right. Well, let's talk about that gold medal game. You made 46 saves in a gold medal game. You won 16-9 over the Haudenosaunee, which is a huge feather in your cap. And on top of that, you're named goaltender of the tournament. So there's a few little accolades that we just kind of put off to the side. I'm pumping your tires for you because you deserve it. All right, let's talk about being traded to Burlington and the Minto Cup run. I think that a couple of moves that McRae made there at the trade deadline to get you and a couple of others just was the final touches to an already great team. But that made you guys unstoppable. And you took Orangeville, who was perfect at that time, by total surprise, total shock. And then you go into the Minto Cup and go by storm. Let's talk about when you first get the trade and your thinking and what was explained to you when you went over there.
Yeah, I mean, all all props to Danny McRae and those boys in Burlington, but yeah, it really started in Peterborough. Like we were kind of deemed to have a good year. We had a lot of young kids like DJ Clark and Nick Rude, and we were supposed to have a really solid team, and it just didn't kind of roll our way. We were having trouble throughout the first bit of the season, and I remember getting the call, like we weren't making playoffs. It was my last year at junior, and of course, I wanted to finish my career, my junior career in Peterborough.
Mm-hmm.
Like grew up there, and this is where I want to play senior. Like
Yeah.
that's where I want to finish my junior career. But in saying that too, Amento was my number one goal. That's what I wanted, and I ended up getting traded to Burlington and knew a few of the guys there from CLL, a few of the players, but also being in Philly as well. Like I knew the Krepensecs,
Yep.
I knew of Danny as well, and it was a very quick turnaround. I think I got the call on the Saturday and we played on the Sunday, so it was a very quick turnaround, but at first I didn't know that Trumbull and Zach were coming with me either. I thought it was
Right.
just myself, but it was nice to kind of bridge the connections there. I know Trumbull knew a couple of the guys. I knew Zach knew a few of the guys too. So it was nice getting into that locker room and not just being alone. But yeah, it was a surreal start right off the bat. Like
Right.
I remember we were playing. I can't even remember who we started off. St. Catharines, I believe we were playing right
Right.
off the bat, and didn't get the start game one just to kind of feel it out, and that was fine. I ended up getting into that game and coming back and winning, but kind of the rest is just history. There's so much belief in that locker room, so much love between the guys. But
Right.
whenever we got through St. Catharines in the first round, and then got through Mimico, getting on to face that perfect Orangeville team, everybody had so much belief that we had what it took,
Mm-hmm.
and getting there, beating them game one. I know like our entire team played unbelievable. We scored a lot more than I think most people would think, but yeah, no, it was a great game one, and after game one, we kind of knew, they're beatable. We got this.
Right.
So the belief was there right to the end, and then all the chaos getting out to Edmonton to play in the Minto, with flights being canceled, with going on
Mm-hmm.
multiple different flights, and then finally getting out of there and having to go right to play. Pretty much, it was a pretty unreal experience. Like you kind of talk about those stories afterwards. It sucks in the moment, but it was a
Yeah.
pretty unreal thing. And then going there and everybody playing their best and playing against the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
We just knew what we had to do. It was all down to business. And then getting down right to the last game against Coquitlam. I mean, especially for myself, like there's so much belief that they're losing isn't an option. We have to, especially for
Right.
being the first time in Burlington's history to even
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
It was a pretty unreal experience.
Absolutely. It goes to your, again, talking about your mental prowess and being a very even keeled kind of guy. When you first got traded to Burlington, did you see yourself putting more pressure upon yourself, or were you able just to kind of dial it back a bit?
Honestly, I didn't really think about the pressure side of it. It was more just I kind of got a second life. I got a second
Mm-hmm.
chance here
Right.
to do what I do. I still, like, I know we were on the losing side of that season for Peterborough, but I felt like I was still doing what I do. And going to Burlington, it was more just like, okay, grew up playing against all these guys. Now I can kind of show them what I got.
Right. Right. Let's talk a bit about draft day for the NLL. You go second round, and it was our esteemed pleasure because we were there, and
Yep.
it was that made it all the more special, as being able to watch you get drafted live was just, I kind of lived vicariously through all you guys, watching you guys grow up and watching you guys actually get where you're supposed to be, and we take great pride being able to be part of that. And talk about the mindset. You talk with Paul Day obviously beforehand, and there was some problems with your registration just to make things a little bit more fun. Talk about the day and talk about getting everything sorted away and talk about your conversation with Paul and then finally hearing your name.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dream come true for sure. It was a bit of a nightmare before that, but when I played for Canada and I knew a bunch of the guys were entering the draft, it was pretty exciting because I did it before that. Like I did it pretty early, and I was starting to get a little nervous afterwards. I was like, I'm got first All-Star of that tournament. I felt like I did pretty good in junior. Felt like I did pretty good at that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody who I'm talking about is getting calls from these teams, and I haven't. So I was talking to guys who've been drafted before, who are in the draft, and just kind of saying, hey, like, have you guys been talking to teams? And everybody's like, yeah, that's like, they'll reach out to you. And I'm like, okay, well, we're within the week of
Yep.
draft and I haven't heard anything. So I I ended up getting a call, I believe, on the Thursday. The
Mhm.
draft was on the Saturday, and getting a call say, "Hey, your name isn't in the draft." I was like, "What do you mean my name's not in the draft? I entered months ago." And I
Right.
said, "We don't know what's going on, but your name isn't in the draft. Call this guy, email this guy. We'll get you in the draft today." So got in the draft the Thursday. Friday came around, and I got a call from Paul Day, and
Right.
didn't really know what to expect. Like that was the first call that I got, and I was projected to go mid to late third round. I knew there was a few teams that needed goalies, but Paulie really reached out to me and just kind of explained contracts, explained the draft, explained how things work, and it really helped me just kind of get an understanding of everything. But
Yeah.
but Paul is great GM. I can't vouch for him enough. He knows what he's doing, and he just kind of mentioned to me, is like, we want to pick you up. I know there's a few teams that have a pick before us, but if you don't get picked up by them, we're gonna get you. And I I was okay. Yep, that's perfect. I'll see you guys at the draft on Saturday. So
Mhm.
I went there, brought one of my sisters, my dad, my mom, and Joey Hiltz has been one of my mentors since
Yeah.
I started lacrosse. So he wanted to come and experience it with. He had lots of friends there as well, but
Yeah.
he came and was there as well. But yeah, so got there in Toronto, and I entered so late they didn't even have my name on the entrance sheet. So got there and knew a few of the guys. Got calls from Philly, and when Philly kind of came up in the second round, didn't really think too much of it. I just kind of expected like Tyler Davis. He was talking to Philly. I was expecting him, and luckily my dad knew TD as well, and he was actually videoing for TD to go up, and they ended up
Right.
calling my name. So it was a pretty surreal experience to turn and hug my mom and go up there and put the jersey on for the first time. So it was literally a dream come true.
Right. I caught you just as you got off stage. It was fun. Believe me.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
watch it. It was like, and that draft was amazing because that's probably the most. It was Brett Fruit's first draft, first draft
mhm,
altogether. So everything was, it looked like an NHL draft, right
yeah,
down to the
yeah.
TSN and ESPN and everything else. So it was first class all the way. So what a draft to get in there, and the amount of talent that was in that draft, and for you to be in the second round, that just is another accolade in your pocket there because, man, there were some fantastic players that we're just watching blossom now, you being one of them, of
Mhm.
course. And just to watch
Well, thank
name
you.
after name after name after name. Last week I had Thomas McConvey on, and of course he was first
Mhm.
overall. And so it's like
Yep.
getting this draft on like one at a time is just a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
this was just like the show of shows, and we haven't had one like that since. So
Mhm.
put that in there, and it's like what a way to get drafted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, your first training camp. This is my favorite question: was it what you envisioned?
It was a little different. I mean, it was still a really cool experience. So how Philly did it, they have kind of their open tryout camp, but during that open tryout, all the rookies go as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just one extra kind of camp to feel things out and have the coaches take a look at us. And went there and met tons of great guys. Um, but it was same thing, like going to Voorhees in Jersey and going to our training facility and seeing wings, everything, meeting guys that I watched on TV
Yep.
when I was younger. Like it was such a surreal experience, and great to start us off and kind of help ease our way in a little bit. But our first real camp with everybody there, um, it was incredible. Like I got there, and I remember meeting Joe Rez for the first time, Blaze, uh, Trevor Baptiste, Rambo, all these guys that I
Mm-hmm.
watched them in college, and now they're some of the best in the world, and I get to be on their team. They're shooting on me. insane. Seeing some of the fans there that come watch camps and meeting coaches and staff and everything like that. Like it was literally a dream come true. It was such a cool experience, especially getting that and like getting there for the first time. It was really cool.
Right. Who took you under their wing? There's always someone.
Yeah, I mean Higgy definitely did. I knew Higgy before I got drafted there. Like during COVID, he's a Whippy guy, a Peterborough guy, so we'd
Right.
go to Whippy and take some shots with a few NLL guys, and I was just this kid and just wanted shots. So I met Higgy for the first time there, and then getting drafted there and Angus Goodleaf, Higgy being there, Blaze took me in really quick.
Right.
It was a awesome experience. I need so many people relate my style of playing now to Higgy, and just seeing he's one of the best goalies in the world.
Yeah.
And seeing him play in Brooklyn when I play in Brooklyn in the summer, it's so cool. You're kind of even playing against them. You're kind of rooting for the guy. He was my first ever like true goalie partner when
Right.
when I cracked the backup spot with him starting. But it was he took me under and showed me some things, and it really developed my game that I still take so much in how I play today.
Right. What was the welcome to the NLL moment? I know when I talk to some of the forwards and think like it's a goal, it's a hit, it's a fight, it's something. As a goalie, what was your welcome to the NLL moment? It's like I'm here.
I mean, there's a couple, I guess. Like the real kind of thing that set in for me was we played against Albany at home, and it was my second year. I was on active roster. First year on active roster, was second year on the team, and I remember Nathan Grennan scoring a goal on Higgy, and it was just a quick run, and they were good goals. And I remember getting that kind of heart beating out of my chest moment and saying,
Right.
"Oh my God, I might be going in here." And Paulie looked down at the bench at me and said, "Yeah, grab your stuff." And I remember walking out, and everybody's asking me like, "Oh, what were you feeling like walking on?" I honestly almost blacked out. I didn't really remember much. I remember fist bumping Higgy, and he said, "You got this," and going in and making the first couple saves, and just the atmosphere of Philadelphia and the fans, and just
Mhm.
being in the Wells Fargo Center, and well, Xfinity Mobile Center now, but being in there with all the fans and just the noise and the music and the lights, it was just such a crazy experience that I never experienced before. So
Right.
that was kind of my first welcome to the big leagues kind
Yeah.
of moment.
Your first start. Your first start comes off huge. You have 39 saves. What a performance. What were the nerves like before opening faceoff, and how did that all kind of calm itself down as the game went on? Because it was business at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it all started in Georgia the week before. So we went down quick against Georgia in Georgia, and finally just went in, and we were on an 8-game losing streak. So
Right.
I just kind of said, screw it, play
Mhm.
and do what you can do. And
Yeah.
the boys helped me out, and we got my first win in Georgia. And then the next weekend, it was actually pretty late. I didn't really get the call that I was starting until about 10 o'clock the night before. We had practice. I got back to my house in Philly, and got the call saying, "Hey, you're in tomorrow." So got in there, and it was great. Got the whole kind of excitement. Didn't sleep much that night, so
Right.
me and Sam LeClaire, we lived together, and he would always go out for breakfast. Him and I would always go out for breakfast to a little spot close to our house, and we have our little game day routine. And it
Mhm.
was a pretty pretty surreal day. And then getting to the arena and really just kind of falling back on what I knew with winning the Minto, with playing senior, getting into my own groove, doing my superstitions before, doing my pregame stuff. It felt so good to do that on the big stage.
Right.
So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. But once I got into the net, went through warm ups, I felt good, and then started the first quarter off good. And I just kind of always say to myself, there can be a lot of shots, but don't think about the game. Just take one shot at a time and do whatever you have to do to keep that ball in the net. So that's kind of how it started. And then there's obviously ups and downs in the first
Sure.
in everything, but got scored on a couple runs, and then getting it back and pulling away with the game at the end. I mean, a win's a win. It sometimes isn't pretty, but yeah, it was a pretty surreal thing to get my first win, especially at home.
Right. The Wings organization of all the organizations to get drafted by is probably the most familiar to you. Want to take a look at the coaching staff and everybody in the front office. It's all guys that you actually grew up with, between TK, Ian, Paul, McCready. All these guys have had something to do with your junior career. Was it an easier transition to come from junior into the pros, having all these guys there and a good support staff?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like the support staff, the whole organization itself, the fans, the coaches. I mean, I knew Paul a little bit before getting drafted. Roobs and Creeds and all those guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
I definitely knew of them. Once they got here, though, like they're for the guys and for the team always.
Right.
And that makes things so much easier. They get we've had a couple tough years,
Mm-hmm.
but they try their hardest, and they make us into some of the best lacrosse players in the world, especially
Right.
young guys like me. Like I'm you want to put it all on everyone's backs. They really develop us. They help us with everything and support us through everything, even throughout the summer, through summer ball, through junior, through senior, everything like that. But coming out of junior, I mean, it was nice being able, because I played with Creppy. I knew Danny Mac, and having Danny Mac be the captain of the Riptide at the time, like
Mm-hmm.
it made things so much easier, where he knew the NLL mindset, and that made things coming from junior to the pros so much easier.
Right. Right. Now I got to ask you, the Globetrotter moment. If you go onto my YouTube, that clip is on there, as well as a lot of the retro Wings games and Bandit games and all the other things. I was lucky enough way back when, over COVID, to inherit Bill Fox's his VHS collection of Mill games and early NLL games and all that. And over the last number of years, I've been making it my mission to convert those and put them up there. But one of the clips on there, of course, is your Globetrotter moment. Talk to me about that. How did that come about, and how in the hell did you score that basket with a second?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty crazy experience. At the time, it was just me and Sam LeClaire living in the same house, and one of our PR girls with the Wings came up to us and said, "Hey, like, this is a complete shot in the dark. You guys definitely don't have to do it, but it's an opportunity. Do you guys want to play for the Globetrotters?" And we looked at each other and went, "Yes, we are going to do that." So we knew they were coming, and this was a couple months in advance, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. We signed our contracts with the one-day Globetrotters and got our jerseys and our uniforms and stuff. We went to practice in the morning of the game, and we kind of ran through some stuff, what we were going to do, what was going to happen, and met all the guys, and met everybody with the Globetrotters. But it was such a cool moment too. Like I grew up watching the Globetrotters. They came to Peterborough, to the Mem Center.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like 7 or 8 years old. Like I was just small, but it was so cool that one of the guys on the Globetrotters that was his debut game as a rookie at the Mem Center. So
Wow.
that was the game we sat courtside there, and then full circle moment being able to actually go out and play with them and like just meet everybody and figure out like what they actually do. Like they're on the road all the time, and like just the commitment that they have.
Right, sure.
But with the half court shot, it was definitely not planned. We were honestly just shooting hoops before the game, and a bunch of them came up to me and went, "Yeah, trick shot, go grab your stick," and started at the free throw or the 3-point line and sent it way over. And I was like, "Yeah, that's not good." I did it a couple times. I said, "Okay, bring it way back." Went to the far 3-point line, and I was like, "Okay, yep, feels pretty good now." Let it go, and I hit the rim, and then I was like, "Okay, I think I got it now." Threw it, and it just went in, and it was well before the game even like was going on. So people were still filing, and I didn't think there was any cameras like anything like that. So I just went, "Oh, cool, it went in." Put my hands up and didn't really think anything of it. And then after the game, so many people were texting me, "Hey, saw your half court shot." I was like, "Oh, you guys saw that? That's cool." Yeah, no, it was really cool. But no, it just happened that it went in perfect. So I kind of got lucky with that one. But it was such a cool experience, and like if I ever had an experience like that again, I'd definitely do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what a way to upstage the Globetrotters, lacrosse style.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, before you actually make the Wings lineup, you actually got come into the ALL. And I want to talk to you about this because I've been a media guy since about 2018-19 with them. I love the league. I know how much that this league means to guys getting to be pros and staying pros. Talk to me about the league from your perspective and how much it helped you along the way.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like the ALL is a great league. I know there's a few different leagues that kind of bounced around and left, but the ALL is definitely the feeder league into the NLL.
Right.
Getting even before I got drafted, still played in the ALL. I believe. I could be wrong on that, but still getting there, getting drafted by Oshawa. It was nice that it was nice and close. Just getting to meet the guys. Like I still am good friends with a lot of the guys I played with. Like Jackson Brown, he's a great goalie.
Yep.
I believe he's still with Oshawa. He's one of my best friends. He works at our tire shop back home whenever I'm home in the summer.
Mhm.
Like it bridges those relationships that you'll have forever. But like all the guys that play in that league, it's still such good lacrosse. It's an elevated lacrosse from junior, and it's not quite the level of the NLL, but playing there for a couple of years, especially being on the practice squad and going out, seeing NLL shots, and you really get to work with. I don't know how to say this. I guess you can work with the guys in the ALL and try things out before going to practice in the NLL and kind of showing everything that you got. Like, it was an awesome experience. It's still such good lacrosse, and the people that you meet there, like guys go back and forth from NLL rosters all the time. Where like you can really have relationships from different teams, from different people, everything like that through NLL and ALL. But it's such a great league.
I think the ALL has put something like 35 or 40 guys in the NLL up to this point now that have gone and stayed. So to its testament, I think it's fantastic. We're talking about the coaching, and you're getting NLL caliber coaching before getting to the NLL, plus having the same rules, same ideas, the same dimensions, and getting in your and having a problem there. So I think with the ALL, it works in that advantage that a lot of the mystique that might trip you up along the way is already gone. That you're able to almost have that dress rehearsal before going there, let alone facing those kind of shooters.
Exactly. No, for sure.
All right.
And like practicing in the ALL or playing, like you still get that caliber stuff. Where like from if
Right.
it's coaching, if it's players, if it's like game flow, everything like that, even systems, just a little bit different from junior, but that all gets you just that one step closer.
Right. And you had Hiltzy as your coach too, right? For Oshawa.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So it's again having a familiar face and time to actually work with you and getting those systems down pat. I think really helped. It didn't hurt that you guys were like 9-1 or something like that for a chunk of the season. You guys were just rolling, and a few things
Yeah.
happened in the playoffs that didn't happen. But that's really secondary. It's the working with, and you have to learn how to win just like you have to learn how to lose to get to where you're going. And it's a great foray to do it at almost NLL caliber level because you have guys going up and guys coming down, and having all those experiences and stories as well as the camaraderie, I think, is a big part of being able to. That's why the guys who make it up are able to stay there right from game day
for sure.
when you arrive. All right, let's talk a bit about Summer Bowl and your time with the Merchants. And we've had a couple of really great years. This year was just amazing all season long, and you could watch the crescendo as it was going all summer long. Let's talk about getting in with the Merchants and as this team built, because the talent on this team, every time I talk, whether it's ALL or I talk about Rebeski or I talk about NLL, I get guys who are on Brooklyn in one form or another. And now you're in the dressing room with these guys, and you're the center, you're the goalie.
Yeah, I mean, at first it definitely felt like I was still the enemy. I did not like Whitby growing up. It was always Whitby and Peterborough facing each other, so
Right.
I definitely didn't like a couple of boys that were in there from growing up. But sometimes that's how the best relationships start. I like even my best friend now, Dante Koulis. He grew up a Curtis boy, hated him growing up. And now he's my best friend in the world. So it really like just getting into playing senior. Peterborough protected my rights for senior A,
Right.
and they just kind of said to me it wasn't really in the cards that year that I'd be playing, so they'd like me to play senior B or maybe go out west or something like that.
Right.
And just moved back from Philly, and I was like, I'm a plumber. I'm not going out west. Don't want to do that. So I guess I'll play senior. Like, I just got back from playing in Burlington. I don't want to drive to Hamilton, like with work, with everything like that. It's too much on me. Not playing for the James gang. I want to play for Brooklyn. I have a couple buddies that are there. Like I knew Gavin Prout from coaching me for the CLL, and I figured, what, I'd give it a shot. So went there, and like I said, it was definitely an adjustment getting used to some of the Whitby boys, but it was good though. Like I knew DeBrone from playing ALL. We played together my first year, and then meeting Deggs and Greggy and everybody, like it was, and you as well. Like it was
right.
It was a great experience. And my first year there, it was just kind of feel out senior ball. Like it was a great experience and really getting me into that higher caliber all year round with playing NLL in the winter and then playing senior ball in the summer as well. I mean, we came up short in the Ontario final my first year, but we grew so much with roster, with support. I know there's always support around the Whitby area and like Peterborough, like everything like that. But getting on the squad last year and know we were hosting the Prezi.
Yep.
Moving to the big rink with
got your jersey for it.
BLC. Yeah. But like even just like almost getting tighter with the BLC guys, like getting the senior A kind of experience with the senior B guys, getting a little bit more professional and just kind of going at it from there. It was pretty unreal. Like knowing a lot of the guys that you're playing against, especially getting into the Prezi, we knew it was going to be tough right from the get-go. But it was such a great experience. So much lacrosse, so quick, but it was ran so well. But just even facing those shots all year round, like we play against guys that play in the NLL, and then going back and forth from senior B in Brooklyn to playing senior A and with the Lakers, playing both. I know it's a lot of lacrosse in the summer, especially for working and
Yep.
trying to get other things. Like I fish and hunt a lot, so like trying to get that mixed in as well. It's a lot, but like being able to play and getting those reps, especially in the summer where we're playing so often, it really rounds out everybody's game.
Right. Right. Well, you look at it in the playoffs last summer, you guys finally get over the hump. And not only did you get over the hump, but you had such a great game plan. You actually used the Six Nations, they're the usual intimidation and against them. Let them take penalties and
Yeah.
score. Let them take penalties and score. And it went on and on and on. And it just snowballed for both games. And you could actually
and
watch.
it helped that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, but it helped that. Especially against Six Nations, especially against Hamilton, like we didn't give up many goals. Like
No.
our defense was playing great, our offense was playing great, especially with some of the guys that we picked up. Like we were making a couple jokes. It was almost like the Brooklyn Blaze. A
Yeah.
lot of the guys from our Burlington team wanted to come out and play, so it was pretty awesome to have some familiar faces and play like that.
Well, you became almost the all-Canadian team because you had Zach Kerrigan come out, and so you had the East Coast flavor. You had some of the West in there, and you had a little bit of everything in there, and everybody meshed. And I give Coach Ryan a lot of credit to be able to keep it light, but also keep it business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that coaching staff was great. I know. Prouder, he made a lot of moves too. So like it was just honestly it was a full organization effort.
Right. The President's Cup itself, you guys do really, really well. It didn't work out in the final game. It doesn't really matter because you guys were a success the entire way, and you had the Whitby fan base there. Like that's I can't remember the last time I seen that bar in full, and even got me singing the anthem for the gold medal game for Christ's sake. So to go out there and see look around, it's like wow, nice. It's just a testament to you guys and getting that message out and getting that feeling back in the area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. And like even just like touching on the Prezi run, like we had so many guys hurt, so many guys battling. Like I was battling a hurt hamstring, like hurt hip. Other guys are broken bones, like torn everything. So like it definitely is a grind. And just how far we went in the Prezi, I mean, it was almost similar to our Burlington team. There's just so much belief there that we can get it done.
Yep.
And I mean, like you said before, sometimes losses are good for somebody. You got to lose to learn how to win.
Yep.
And that was a really tough loss, especially just for myself. There's so much belief, and it's tough. Like it's especially tough as a goalie. Like I can't score goals. Like I can't go out and hit guys. Like it's tough. Like especially we had such a good team, and we still did so good. So that loss, it really hurt. It stung. It still stings. But like, getting into this year and playing against playing with a couple of the guys that won the Prezi against us. Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. But like you said, losing's a part of playing lacrosse.
It's
so,
character building. It's what makes you
exactly.
Be able to grow from there and learn from that, and know that that's not the feeling that I want. And you bring that message to other people and onward. And that's part of
exactly.
the coaching as a player idea. And I think you have that pretty well down pat. Just watching again the way you hold yourself, the way over the years that I've known you and watch you always have that kind of thing. Never be up or down too much, but always see the picture. And you've had that for years. And I made a testament to the way you were brought up and the way you've developed yourself as well, and taking all the life lessons along the way. I want to zoom out a little bit and look at some of the things upcoming, just as the State of the Union and your opinions. Now, the big thing, of course, is we have Olympics coming up in a couple of years. First of all, your thoughts on sixes. and that being the thing that we're going to show the world, lacrosse.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's kind of wild that we have multiple different ways of
Yeah,
playing lacrosse now. I mean, I'm so used to the box lacrosse aspect. I still did play field, but I mean, it is great. Like that now that there's something that's going to the Olympics and showing the world kind of, especially as North Americans,
yeah,
what we strive in. Um, it's pretty cool. But like I'm on the fence about sixes. I mean, I feel like it's more like basketball, like as a goalie aspect of it, like it's almost like you you're okay that a goal's getting scored because you can go down and score one right back.
yeah.
That's tough. Like as a goalie, I don't want to let anything in my net. So it's I know that the pro guys that are playing sixes right now think the same way where they're yeah, obviously going to try and stop everything. It's a little bit of an adjustment for me to get used to.
Right. It's funny because I've interviewed a bunch of goalies, and Warren Hill loves the game. And then most of
Yeah.
you guys can't stand the game because, of course, who wants to let in 35 goals in a game? I thought about the idea of making it a 4x4 net, and I had Bullet Bob Tearing stop me in that one, going, take a look at the shooters and how accurate they are. And you're going to give them a 4x4, you're going to get that goalie killed because everything's going to be aimed right at him. Give him a 6x6, let him try and pick corners. Maybe we can save a life along the way. That's my
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's quick and stuff, but it doesn't show off how great you guys are as athletes. And I think that they're missing the boat on that. But on the other hand, we get 280 more countries to watch it. We also have a
Exactly.
chance to teach tradition after the fact. But the big thing is, do they have exit strategies on afterwards? Otherwise, wow, that was a great tournament. And then we go back to status quo. If we can actually build it, we take it from floor 3 and bring it to the penthouse. And now you guys start be getting the NL and NHL kind of money and like that kind of recognition. I bring back
Hmm.
Frank and I had Nick Sakavitz on the show a couple of years ago before he'd left, and what he had told us was the NLL was roughly around the NHL 1975 or six, where the TV was starting to come in, but the money hadn't come in yet, and we hadn't had the explosion like the Oilers and that just yet, but we were on the way. So if that's the case, the Olympics is the launching point, and if they have an exit strategy, who knows where this can land? And it really doesn't matter what stick and ball, as long as we get people to see that, then we can keep getting them to watch and you know give you guys the celebrity that you actually deserve.
Yeah, for sure.
Being full time, do you think that this is a realm possibility, or are we going to stick it the way we are now, as part time here, part time there, part time there? Do you think that we can actually make this into a full time gig?
I think so. I think we're already making steps in the right direction. Like I know with I mean, obviously you can't play all year round in the same league, but like with the different leagues and everything like that going on,
Mm-hmm.
um, there are guys that are making it their sole thing. They're not working those second jobs, and
Yeah.
um, I think we are making the right steps towards that. Um, there are a few things that we need to definitely work on, and that's like I think like with the TSN, with ESPN, everything like that, like them broadcasting everything, like I think that's a huge step in the right direction. So I
Right.
think just more exposure and just especially like you said with the Olympics coming up, I think that's gonna bring everything. Hopefully, give it a little boost.
Right. Now you live in Market. You're one of the few guys who do live in Market. Is that a culture shock to you, living in Philadelphia as opposed to comfortable in Peterborough or Curve Lake or wherever, and trying to make it all work there and then doing all the flying in and out, or does it save you a lot of headaches?
Yeah, I mean, so this is my third year living in and around Philly. So I got drafted right out of high school. Didn't go to college. I was a plumber. So just where I live back home, I live on a lake. Uh, Never really had a neighbor. Um, so like I drive a big F-250. Like I'm used to the space, but living in South Philly for the last 2 years. Um, my truck wouldn't even get down the alleyway we lived in. So it's definitely a culture shock. I am so used to having land and space and kind of being able to do what I want. But it, on the other hand too, like being in Philly and being so close to everything and meeting so many different types of people,
Right.
I love Philly. Philly's my second home. I want to stay here. I want to build a life here. But now, like for the first 2 years, I lived in South Philly. Now I live Royersford. It's just outside of the city. I can have my truck down here. I can go fish some of the rivers and streams out here. So it's nice. I can kind of get a little bit of home feel with being in my second home as well.
Right, because if you're in Philly, you know, the only hunting you can do is really trying to make it to King of Prussia and trying to get to the Costco. That's the only hunting you're going to get out there.
Yeah, exactly. But even like on the other hand too, though, like being at home, I'm so far away from everything, so it's tough. Like luckily we have a gym in our garage, so I can still work out, still do everything. But being here, I think my game elevates so much because I work out every single day. I take shots. Like Michael Sowers lives here, Blaze Reardon lives here. Like we go and shoot almost every single day, and we don't have to just go into practice and go through everything. Here we can go to Delaware, we can go to Jersey, we can go like North Philly, anything like that. Like everything is so relatively close that we can go and talk things out. We can work through things. We can try different things out, and we do that every day. So like it rounds out our game so much and makes us all so much better.
Right. Does the Wings take advantage of you being in area and have you do stuff for the kids and for the high schools and things like that and start building fan bases and building the game and really getting everybody behind it?
Yeah. I mean, I being down here for the last 3 years, especially now with being one of the only guys in market, I do so much volunteering. We go and do our Sticks for Students program. We go all over Jersey. We go all over Philly. Sometimes we go down to Delaware as well. But we bring sticks and balls and goals to school, so they try it out in their PE classes, and we do our little lacrosse Jeopardy. So we do trivia questions. We do like fun, like physical, like activities, lots of trivia questions, things like that, just to try and grow the game. Like we go to a lot of schools that are like everybody plays lacrosse, everybody's seen lacrosse, like it's great, everybody knows about it, and then we go to schools no one knows about it. So like being able to kind of jump back and forth and seeing even 10-minute like schools 10 minutes apart from each other, just seeing how different it is. It is really nice that we get to grow the game and show them a little bit about lacrosse and what we do as professional athletes in Philly, and they get to come to our games as well. So we do a lot around the Philadelphia area, but we try and grow community support and try volunteering and just growing the game of lacrosse, especially around this area.
If it's important, let's say that the games are in the Olympics because and that raises the profile of the game. How important is it, and is being in the Olympics something that adds credibility to the game as well, which is maybe a little bit lacking?
Yeah. I mean, like 100%. You see hockey in the Olympics. You see like so many different sports. Soccer is a big one. Like where everybody is cheering on their country, especially you look at Philadelphia being such a crazy sports town where the fans are second to none, like they're the best. So being able to do that. And I know there's so many other cities, especially in the US, in Canada, everything like that support lacrosse, support their country, where I think getting into the Olympics really is just going to just excel everything. Hopefully that's kind of what the plan is anyways, to get there and kind of put on a show for the rest of the world.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Oh,
we show.
Yeah, you're good.
That's why, to connect what Gary was saying earlier and what you were saying earlier, What's the next step? Let's go on the assumption that a lot of people see the game of lacrosse for the first time and it heightens their interest. Um, there has to be, and I think this is what Gary means when he say there has to be a next plan, a plan B. What do you do after you get some attention from the Olympics? You don't want to use, the old saying, you got to strike while the iron's hot. So if we assume that the iron getting hot is people noticing the game, what do you think? And I think this is the question Gary was trying to ask, is that what do you think lacrosse has to do to take advantage of all those new eyes and immediately, as quick as you can, get them integrated in the game? I think that's what you meant, Gary, when you were asking him. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're already kind of in the right direction. I know there's tournaments overseas, like in Czech Republic.
Yep.
I know like a lot of guys that come over from Ireland and play for Team Ireland, Team Italy. Like, so I've connected with people like that already, where I think a really big next step is, especially just not even for the like kind of whole game of lacrosse, but even just countries growing it around the world, like putting more camps and more teams in, but especially in North America and in the States, in Canada, with the NLL and the ESPN coverage and TSN coverage, and really just kind of trying to push more media, I think will be a huge thing. But also not only just media, but pushing more teams, more activities, more camps, even pushing it towards more schooling as well. I think that'll take a huge step. Like even you see kids going over for hockey overseas to hockey for schooling and everything like that. If we did that with lacrosse too and started leagues overseas, like in different countries, I think that'll boost everything so much more.
I guess the way to define that is we know there's a bunch of dots when it comes to lacrosse everywhere, right? Like if you talk about Peterborough as an example, and you Toronto, and then you talk about other places, it's about connecting the dots. I guess ultimately that's the easiest way to ask the question that I'm asking is, how do we connect the dots? Because we have lots of dots and it's about connecting them. That's going to be the challenge once the Olympics is involved.
Yeah. I mean, just, I think more exposure through broadcasting, through TV, and through social media as well, I think.
And a place for the people to play. Now, you highlighted a very important point where you got one school, they know about lacrosse, and right next door there's another school doesn't have a clue there's lacrosse. How do we connect that dot? How do we connect that dot?
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the upcoming for you in the summer. Do you go back to Brooklyn, or is it time for MSL in Peterborough?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, I love all the guys in Brooklyn. I love playing with the merch. I think if the opportunity is there, I think I'm gonna probably step up with Senior A and play in Peterborough. And I mean, that was always one of my dreams. I still, it's pretty crazy that Trace Koleski's my coach here in Philly. I remember taking a picture after the Man Cup in Peterborough when I was 9 years old with TK. So like that's always a place that I wanted to play. That's always been a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to try and take my shot at playing in Peterborough, and I think I have a lot to offer towards that team.
I agree with you 100%. I'm going to miss you, though. I am part of the board of directors for Ontario Series Lacrosse now, so I'm going to miss you in there. But I love seeing that your career keeps taking that next step, and that next step, and you're patient enough to take whatever bump there is and then keep going forward, because that's how we move. Wherever we go, move back, we keep going forward. As long as you can keep going in that direction, the sky's the limit for you. And, I know how much, busy it is, and you got a busy weekend ahead of you. I really appreciate you taking the time and, dealing with Philadelphia traffic and all the rest of that to take your time to talk with us for an hour or so. And I wish you nothing but the best and success along the way. And again, vicariously, a lot of us are watching your career and living through all your highs and all the accolades and things like that. And you've got such a big support system with all of us that hope you lean on us if you need us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate. I know we've tried to get this going for even a couple of years now. It just hasn't worked out, but I really do appreciate you guys. I had a blast, and I appreciate all the support from everybody.
You're appreciated as well. Thanks for highlighting some of the stuff that you do and your interest in the game and a bit of your opinion as well. We really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Frank.
All right, he's Gary Groob, and the handsome guy over there is Deacon Knott. Plays goal for the Philadelphia Wings. He wants to stay handsome. That's why he wears a mask. No, I don't.
Pretty much. No.
You know what? Before we go, I just want to say one thing. How heavy is that equipment after you play a game?
Yeah, I mean the dreaded flight back after a game is paying for the baggage because it's all wet. It's a pretty penny, but usually flying back, my whole bag weighs about 80 pounds.
Goodness gracious!
Wow.
And I try not to pack too much more in my bag.
Do you leave it in the garage because it must be radioactive by the time it gets off the airplane?
Yeah, it's definitely, it takes the full week to air out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think we've gotten personal enough now. All right, he's Gary Groob, and he's Deacon Knott, goaltender for the Philadelphia Wings. I'm Candid Frank. Thank you for watching NLL Lacrosse Week. We'll see you again on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Hey, find a stick, pick it up, give it a try. Thanks for watching, everybody.